Hello, everybody. This is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see next to me, I have a very, very beautiful goddess with me. Her name is Tara Marino. Hey, Tara.
Hi, Christy.
It's so nice to see you. Let me just give everybody a formal introduction of who you are, and then we can go in and talk about what we're going to talk about.
Cool.
So Tara Marino is known for assisting thousands of women around the world to live a beautiful life. She lives in the city of her dreams, Petty, with her husband and her 2 boys, where she runs her company, Elegant Femme. She also launched the Tara Paris fashion line this year. It's amazing. And she was just featured in Paris Fashion Week. I want to talk to you about that because that's got to be amazing. So what is incredible is not long ago, she was a stay-at-home mom, literally grieving over the death of one of her children, but she found healing through the recovery of 3 femme types we all share and created her own beautiful life. So, oh my gosh, you're just amazing. The fact that you bounced back from that and the way you did is just... In the fact, you've truly figured out how to live a beautiful life by unlocking the power of femme types and living sensually and running your business as a sensual entrepreneur. So during our time together, she's going to explain how you can do the same. So Tara, I'm so excited you're back. Not back. We were doing the Art of Having It All interviews together and really connected. And I was like, oh, I made a new friend. So.
I know. I was looking at our chats. It was really easy the first time that we connected, and we just have such a bond and the understanding of what's really possible, I think, for all of us. So I'm so excited to be here and just open to an easy, organic flow, and whoever's listening, to have them be inspired and open to, their next level of possibility. Because all of us, no matter where we are, right, we get to that level, and it's, okay, well, what's next for me? So I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. And just before we recorded, Tara and I were talking a little bit, and I love that you really do have a having it all life as you define it. And it's amazing because, you had kind of a transition that you were looking at, like the contrast, like something here is not working in my life. So you looked at your options and then you made choices from there. And it makes changes, choices and decisions makes changes in the family and in the dynamics of it. But it's like you are so in the, this is not flowing anymore, so what are my other options? Where can I go to flow? And I really appreciate that integrity within you because that's also what you teach, and I love that.
Well, it's interesting because, like we were saying, we can get going in a certain direction and it will work for us for a while. And what's interesting is the rest of the world, whatever our world is at that point, gets to know us that way.
Yeah.
We start to form our identity around that, and we're this or we're that. And when you look at that and you really understand, actually, that's not serving me any longer, it takes an incredible amount of courage to pick up and say, okay, I'm going to leave that identity there, even though everybody knows me, likes me, respects me, admires, thinks I should be that, and go over here. And that's, to me, we need to always be doing that.
Yeah.
Always. I don't care how quote-unquote successful we get. We have to always reevaluate, is this serving me? Is this really in alignment with my beautiful life, with my divine flow? And if it isn't, it really only ones that can do something about it.
Absolutely. And I love that too, because it's like the awareness that, there's always going to be new desires that are birthed within. Our life is never like a diploma we put on the wall forever to be remain the same,
Exactly.
It's growing.
And some of those desires, Christy, we want them, and then we get them, and we realize, okay, cool. I wanted an office in Paris with an Eiffel Tower view. I had dreamed of it ever since I was a little girl. I got it, and within 7 months, I'm like, I'm good. And there was a piece of me that was like, ooh, is this going to be okay? The whole world knows I have an office in Paris now with an Eiffel Tower view. My audience knows this. And wait a minute, it's not in alignment. I actually want to be back at home. We're going to switch this, we're going to do this, and I let it go.
Yeah.
And so I think if anybody can really hear that from us today, that if there's anything in their life that doesn't feel like it's in alignment anymore, no matter how good it might look like on the outside, if there's something inside that's tugging at you where it's no longer resonating, it's no longer in alignment with where you're going, that, take the courage. And we'll talk a little bit about the femme types today because that can assist women in really getting clear on what isn't serving anymore. Where are you being called? And then that final piece of the courage, and like you said, the integrity to live the life that we're being called in this moment.
Absolutely. So let's talk about it. What are the femme types and who are they for?
Yeah. Okay. So the Femme types, I get asked this question a lot, and the surface answer that most people are expecting are, oh, this great system, and the Femme types didn't come about that way. As you mentioned when in my introduction, I lost my firstborn son to pneumonia, and I say that not in a nonchalant way. My energy around it, however, is that every single one of us has experienced something deep. A deep level of grief, of loss, of real deep opportunity to question who are we and where are we going and how are we going to continue. So I don't say it from like a passing thing.
Sure.
However, I do intend for everyone to connect with the energy of, I know women have been there, wherever there is for them.
Yeah.
And so I was there. I was in that space of grief, of loss, of complete unknowing. And that's where the Femme types were created. The Femme types were created to heal me from that loss. Femme types are three aspects of us as women, and all of us have all three. They're the indie, the Frenchie, and the New Yorker. I started, and I'll explain to you what they mean and why they're important. And when I was on the floor, I was healing after a year, and I was on the floor surrounded by legal paperwork. There was an opportunity that we had to file a lawsuit. There was some malpractice at the end of my son's death. And I was surrounded in legal paperwork, and I kept screaming, why? Why me was at that point in my awareness, why is this happening to me? Why? I don't understand. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Am I not a good enough mom? All the questioning was there. And the voice that I heard back was, Tara, you have to stop asking why and start asking how. How are you going to allow this experience to affect the rest of your life? What do you want this to mean? How are you going to react to this? And I have goosebumps saying it again, like 14 years later, and that was my indie. And so I started to communicate with this aspect of myself that was deeply knowing, deeply aware, deeply confident in the surrender of life. And then I started realizing that there were different aspects of me. My New Yorker, which has everything to do with power and prosperity. I started to ask myself, well, what am I contributing? How can I create in this lifetime? I started to, at that point, even create a business plan for the fashion line. So at that point, way back then, and then the Frenchie is the aspect of us that requires enjoyment. The Frenchie is all about pleasure, all about body image and relationships. And, the majority of women I talk to will say, I get it, Tara, my Frenchie's on the back burner. I've been a New Yorker, I get it. I'm all about my business. I only think about my opt-in page and my this and my that, and I'm not thinking about how am I enjoying my business. The Frenchie becomes really critical and really necessary in our beautiful life because I don't know why we're doing what we're doing if we're not allowing ourselves to enjoy it. So the indie is the being, the New Yorker is the doing, and the Frenchie is the enjoying.
I love it.
So that's the aspects of us as women, and what we teach women with an Elegant Femme is how to balance those aspects so that we're living our life really in sync, so that we feel the fulfillment of our beautiful life and we're not leaving a piece of us behind.
So how does knowing this information, like how does the Femme types really shift things for women from like what we even started the discussion with, like, okay, I'm stuck in this relationship, it's not fulfilling me anymore, I'm stuck in this job that I just don't like, I'm not making enough money, and it's like we have that, like we talked about, we have the options and take the courage to do that. How does that help, knowing that and living through that, how does that help shift women?
Yeah. So we have a specific process where we invite women to connect with their Femme types every day. So when you're communicating with your New Yorker and you realize that you're not making enough money, you realize that something there is out of sync, you can utilize your indie, which has to do with belief and truth, in order to put yourself back into sync. So, for example, the courage that you said, right? The courage of when you realize that something's out of sync, that courage comes inside of your indie, allowing yourself to follow your truth, your inner knowing. So starting to have a conversation with these aspects of yourself assists you in knowing what is out of sync, what is it you really desire, and then we have specific practices that show women how to put the Femme types back into sync. So specific action steps for your New Yorker, for your indie, and for your Frenchie, so that you are in alignment. When you're in alignment with all your Femme types, that courage isn't hard to come by. There's really no other option. When you really realize who you are, what your life's about, and what's calling you, there's not an alternative,
Yeah.
You feel that wholeness inside of you, and that's what the Femme types are really about, really allowing yourself to feel whole and fulfilled. Because when we're out of sync, it's easy to say, oh, well, I don't know what my parents will think about this, or what about my community? Will they think I'm not successful if I do this? Or, right, it's that outside you. The Femme types are all about you leading. You really the most important relationship we know is with yourself. None of the other relationships even matter. So the femme types are all about putting yourself in sync with your own personal relationship. And once you're in alignment with who you really are, I don't want to say that those things are easy because we still require the courage, but there's no other option. If you're going to really live your life engaged and awake and live your beautiful life for you, there's no option. There really isn't.
Yeah. So can you give a tip or something that someone like everybody that's watching us right now can do to assist to really bring the femme types, into sync? Is there something you can offer today?
Yeah, what I would say really quickly is that you really need to connect with them individually. So if we look at it just, for example, from the indie perspective, and we ask the question, who am I here to be? So just for today, I invite everybody to do this just for today, just to allow your femme types to come into sync for today. So if you ask yourself, who do I require to be today? And then listen, really listen, because we have this default pattern of, I'm going to be prosperous, something that we think we're supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be this. But if we really slow down and ask our indie, who do we require to be today? You might be surprised with the response. She might say funny. She might say sexy. She might say responsible. What is it you're really seeking to experience about yourself today? That'll begin to put your indie in sync. And the key is to really listen, because that surface answer isn't what you're really requiring. The next question could be for your friendship. What do I require to enjoy today? And we're looking for simplicity, and we're looking for one thing. We're getting away from the 50 million to-do list where we all jump into, where we think, okay, if I accomplish these things, then I'll be worthy. We're stepping away from that into a completely different, really, dynamic of what's going to serve you. So what is the one thing that your friendship wants to enjoy? Yes, it may be a manicure or pedicure, but it might be something different. It might be a nap. It might be having a conversation with your mother. It might be going to walk outside. I mean, this takes really a deep, deep inner knowing and permission for you to really hear what the inside of you is seeking to experience. And I'm giving you the correct order as well, because the final one is your New Yorker. The majority of women wake up with their cell phone. What do I need to do today?
Right.
This puts you out of sync immediately. So it needs to go indie, Frenchie, New Yorker. The final femme type is the doing. We're so accustomed to doing, feeling like that's going to give us our self-worth.
Right.
So the question for your New Yorker is, what is the one thing that I require to do today that will bring me more into my desired life? Now, women will say to me, but Tara, you don't understand. I've got more than one thing to do today.
Right.
We get it, right? We
Yeah.
all have more than one thing to do. But what is that one thing that's actually going to give you fulfillment? Typically, we put that one thing on the back burner. It could be anything, something to do with the taxes, getting yourself fresh flowers, like really reading your child a bedtime story. It doesn't need to be business-based in order for it to have an effect.
Right.
What's important is that the femme types all hold reservoirs of energy. So once we open them up and start participating in them every day, we have more energy to do more, to be more, and to enjoy more. So that would be my simple tip for today, to really go through that process in that alignment from indie, Frenchie to New Yorker.
Beautiful. So we're going to put it below the video. You have a quiz. So
Can
you talk about the quiz a little bit? Because we're going to have a link under, so if you want to take this quiz, Tara's going to tell you all about it.
So the quiz was in the works for, seriously, Christy, like 4 years, because I thought, how am I going to do this? How am I going to put it together? We are so pleased with the way it turned out. So we have a quiz for everyone to see which femme type is currently out of sync for them.
Perfect.
So they take the quiz. It's really simple. It takes about 3 minutes. They're each based on individual femme types. And depending on your answer, our system will calculate for you which femme type is out of sync. And you'll actually get numbers associated with where you are with your Frenchie, with your indie, with your New Yorker. It's really cool, there's also explanations for each answer that you gave to show how you could actually strengthen, do something different, and strengthen that particular femme type, as well as a complete series as to how you can put each particular femme type in sync and how it's currently keeping you from receiving what it is you really want in your life.
Perfect. I can't wait to take it. I'm really looking forward to doing that.
Cool.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to doing that. So I encourage all of you women, and guys, if you're listening, forward this information to your mother, your wife, your daughter, whoever, would be interested in taking this, because obviously it will really help any time that we can get back in alignment as women and figure out, what we have that's out of balance and get it back in balance. This is definitely one way of doing it. And I appreciate, Tara, for you being here and educating what I like to call my family. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for inviting me to join your family.
Absolutely. So, ladies, let me know, what are you taking away from today? What did you learn? Did you know about these femme types before? What are you learning about it? What really shook you inside and is getting you to feel motivated or inspired to make some kind of shifts in your own life? So let's continue the conversation. And as always, have an amazing week. Thanks so much, Tara.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.